Beautiful.
I'm going to tell you something today that should make you sad, perhaps mad, but it won't, because you won't believe me. But I'm going to tell you anyway, because I'm mad as hell. Nobody told me. When you get older, you don't feel any different inside. Not one bit. You know, the you down deep inside of you that Mr. Rogers talked about? It's the same. I think old people didn't tell us this out of meanness. And I proved it, because I said to my Sunday school class, I'm going to tell a bunch of young people that they're not going to feel any different when they get older. And he said, well, don't tell them too much. Why? I don't get it. Anyway, so what I want to tell you is, I am still me down deep inside me. I am me when I was 50. When I was 50. I am me when I was 40. I am me when I was 30. I am me when I was 20 and graduating from college. And I am me at 10 years old, standing in my backyard talking to the trees. The name of my book. So, the only thing that's really different is my spring is broken. I used to be a real go-getter kind of girl. And I'd be sitting down and somebody'd say, come on, let's do something. I'd jump up. And now when I start to jump up, my body says, hey, sister, you had a torn meniscus, remember? You fell and cracked your pelvic bone, remember? You're not going to spring right up. Gather yourself slowly and get on up. But I'm still here. And some of you are doubting already, I can tell. So let me tell you a little story. When I was 30-something, I volunteered for the library club at a large church. I figure I'm an English major. I know 100s are philosophy and religion. 800s are literature. What more do I need to know to be a church librarian, right? Wrong. There are a lot of other numbers in the duodecimal system I didn't know. But luckily, one little old lady had been a library science teacher, and she brought in her cataloging book. Helped us immensely. And so I said to her one day, you know, you should donate this book to the library, because there'll be others coming after us who don't know as much as they should know. And the look on her face was total shock. It was only surpassed by the look on my face as this shriveled up, dried up, 80-year-old woman said, well, I might have to go back to teaching. Well, you never know what's going to happen, and I might need my book. So, I'm going to be 71 years old in May. Guess what I have? All my American literature notes, all my English literature notes, all of my notes on Chaucer, all of my notes on how to teach grammar, both from which I taught and from which I took as a student. Why? I don't know what's going to happen. My husband might die. I might have to go back to teaching. You see, the brain remembers things differently as you grow older. I can remember vividly the day in 6th grade when I was doing hot pepper. It's when they twirled the jump rope really, really fast, and I was good at it. And all of a sudden I looked down and I had 3 of my can-cans on the ground. But what I had for supper last night, I'm not so sure. We also start not to remember the names of things. And you guys can be grateful to us for inventing words. Doomololly, doohinky, whatchamacallits, who's its, what's its. Those that came from us. So, let's look at the body. About 40, 45, things start happening. The first thing that starts happening that I noticed, and I thought it was only in women, but listening to Jake, it apparently happens to men too. The hair stops growing on your legs. And this is wonderful for us women. Because it gives us extra time to attend to our newly acquired mustaches. And then we also start to get the cilia in your nose that filters the air and lets you breathe fresh air. Well, they start to crowd and want to come outside your nose. So you have to go to the drugstore and buy those little clippers or shavers that take a battery smaller than your finger, and you try to get in there and zap them, and you can't do it. Forget it. Just pluck them with the tweezers. And if you think plucking your eyebrows hurts, wait till you pluck your legs. In men, it's even worse. First of all, because most of them don't pluck their nose hairs. The second thing is they get hair in their ears. Oh. And their eyebrows go all wonky. Long, and I mean, it's unbelievable. I have to trim my husband's eyebrows at least once a month. And I have to hold him down. Leave him alone, I like them. They're wild. And then our hair starts to turn gray. Now, we all have that one friend. She was in the audience Friday night. She's not here today. That has beautiful white hair that turned white completely when she was 35, and it's absolutely gorgeous. One person like that. The rest of us have stiff, unruly, gray, wiry hair that we have to color. We have no choice. My husband says I have to color my hair because if I don't, one day I will walk by the mirror and I will see my poor old pitiful Aunt Blabby who never colored her hair and only wore house dresses.
All true.
And somewhere along that time, our faces start to fall a little, right about here. We're not calling them jowls. No, we're not. I bought the book, Facial Exercises to Prevent Aging. I'm sure I did them a couple of times. Oh, and dark circles. I've always had dark circles. They get darker. I might have to get a second job in order to keep myself in concealer. And the pimples that maybe you had when you were a teenager, they become little dents. Other people call them pores, but I think pores is such an ugly word. I call them dents. You need concealer for those too. And primer. We keep a lot of people in business as we age, okay? And then the neck suddenly decides it does not want to be a part of the body. It wants to come and join the face. If you don't believe me, think about how many people you see wearing turtlenecks or scarves around their necks. And yes, men, it happens to you too. Have you noticed how many men have the Fu Manchu little beard to cover up their goozle? And our hands get freckles. One day I was visiting my mother-in-law in Florida, and I said, oh my goodness, was in the sun too long? I've got some freckles on my hand. And she said, honey, those are age spots. And they won't go away, no matter how much porcelana you buy. And then our fingernails start to give us a little trouble. I noticed it this morning, but I had never noticed it before. But I was going to put polish on them, and my hand was visibly shaky. And toenails? Forget about it. We can't touch our toes anymore. Baby boomers are keeping nail salons in business. And then there's that lovely thing that happens to your arms. They're called bye-bye arms because if you're not careful, when you wave, they wave too. I never wave my arms. And then moving on down to the chest, yes, boobies do fall. And the bigger they are, the farther they fall. And sometimes that lovely barrel chest that you so admired in your young, studly husband becomes a not so lovely belly. But you love them anyway. And for the private parts, let's not talk about those too much. Just to say that all women of a certain age need to be cognizant of bathroom location. I myself know the location of every bathroom in every department store, grocery store, drug store, any other kind of store you could think of in Northwest Arkansas. And jumping is no longer an effective, fun thing for women to do. Either jumping on a trampoline, or jumping rope, or just jumping out of your chair. I don't care how many kegels you say. And then there's a little problem that men seem to have a lot about around this age. My husband described it that his favorite pastime is sometimes as difficult as pushing a rope. Then we seem to get wider as we get older. Witness the saddlebags. And that's why these long tops are suddenly in style everywhere. We also get thighs with dents in them. Again, they're called cellulite or cellulite or some ugly word. I like to call them dents. They were called thunder thighs when I was young. I'm sticking with that. Some people get veins in their legs, the lovely purple kind. And then our feet do keep growing. I went into a store in Fayetteville on the square that's no longer there after I had my 2 children, and I said, I've grown a half a shoe size with each child. I now wear a size 10. And she said, well, you better not have any more children or you'll have to wear the box. True story. Luckily, the Boston store went out of business because I would never have gone back there. But I am like Trudy on Steel Magnolias. A size 10 did feel so comfortable that I just go on and put on an 11. So, to make a long story short, we aren't going to get out of this world alive. So, we might as well enjoy ourselves while we're here. Old people look different outside, not inside. Remember that. Beauty is on the inside. Here are some old people photographed by Andrew Kilgore that I think are beautiful. Don't you?
Yes.
And I heard Bob Schieffer say this morning, a quote from Andy Rooney, if you're lucky, you'll get old too.